All right, it's another episode of your favorite show with Nick and Amy, the Ultimate Intimacy Podcast. Today's episode is Love Doesn't Assume. Love asks, love, what is it?
Listens,
Love listens,
love
and love
responds.
responds. Oh,
I cut your screen off.
no, it's a good thing. It's a good thing I got Amy here. So,
I
um,
don't
I
think you really need to ask. I think deep down inside, you know exactly. You always have the perfect description of assume, the word assume.
assume that it makes an ass out of you and me when you assume something. That's true. I heard that
Explain that.
advice a long time ago. Well, the reason why I think that's true, the word assume, if you break it down, makes is ass of you and me. Because when you assume things, I don't remember the exact statistic. Oh my goodness, I'm stuttering all over the place. I don't know the exact statistic, but it's like 90% of the things we assume are wrong. So if I'm assuming Amy's feeling a certain way or she did something because of something, 90% of the time I'm going to be wrong. So if I'm assuming that,
Hmm.
then it's how, I mean, if I'm wrong, how much conflict is that going to cause, right?
Right, right.
And I think we assume that our spouse should know how we feel or
Hmm.
what we're thinking and that we shouldn't have to tell him. Like we hear this
Right.
all the time, like he should know that I'm feeling this way, or he should know that he needs to do this. I shouldn't have to tell him. And when you get in that mindset, it's going to cause a lot of problems. We've had that in our marriage
Mhm.
as well too.
Oh,
Amy,
yes.
early on, Amy's like, I shouldn't have to tell you to do this. And I'm like, I'm a guy. Like, just tell me what you need. Tell me how you're feeling. I want to meet those needs, but I don't know all the time, right?
Have you learned that you really don't have to ask as much, though, if you just pay attention?
To some things, yeah, but there's other things that like I if you walk in and you're having an off day, the first thing if I start assuming things, I'm probably going to start assuming things that are wrong, right? Instead of you just saying or asking a question like, "Hey, what's going on today, babe? What's wrong?" You should
I
know what's wrong. You should know why I'm feeling the way I am.
I haven't said that.
No, I'm saying that's usually the reaction, right?
For me?
No, just in
Oh,
in most marriages,
I
right?
don't know. I'm only in one marriage.
Well, that has happened in our marriage before too,
You
where
should know how I'm feeling.
you should know how I'm
I don't think
feeling.
I've ever said in 23 years, you should know how I'm feeling.
Yes, I can remember
Really? Do you want to share
example.
it?
No,
This
I
one's
don't
gonna
share
get
it.
good. This one's gonna get heated. I think that we should share examples because I think people listening are like, yep, yep, this is a big problem in our relationship, or has been, or it might be in the future. I think assuming is just a really, after being married years and years, I think that you're like, they should know that. I just think it's human nature to think they should know that. I'm not saying it's right. I just think in our minds are like, they should know that by now
On certain things.
on certain
On
things.
certain things, absolutely, there's going to be certain things that you're like, yeah, he should know that, or she should
Okay.
know that. But there's going to be on other things like I think we assume like if your spouse is upset at you or they're feeling a certain way, like I think we often just assume that they should know why we feel the way we do or why we're upset or
Hmm.
whatever or what we're thinking. Like, I don't know. It's all over the place.
I'm gonna push you on the spot and I'm gonna say let's both name something where we've expected our spouse to know something and then we had a really good conversation so that we didn't have to assume.
I know we've had those. I can't think of one right off the spot because I think we've done a really good job. Like our communication now versus what it used to be.
Okay, but even back in the past, like what is something that has caused contention with assumptions?
In our
Yeah.
relationship.
Well, we only know our
Yeah,
relationship.
yeah, yeah. I can't think of the exact example, but I do remember having this and you saying you should know you should know. I shouldn't have to ask you. And it was probably regarding some chores or some different things or just
Probably.
cleaning up around the house or different things. I don't
Probably.
remember exactly, but I do remember having this exact conversation, and that's why obviously we've talked about it, is because like it's it should be just real easy to say, you know what? I need you to do this, or can you do this for me? Or here's how I'm feeling, here's how you made me feel, instead of just assuming that.
Right.
Okay.
I think assumptions create a lot of fights and disagreements and silent treatments in some marriages because we assume and then we get bitter and resentful because they don't know and then we get more like it causes stuff.
And I'm gonna assume this is the way it is.
Don't
So
assume.
no, I feel like, okay, I hear from a lot of men, and I feel like it's more the wife assuming that their husband should know how they feel when it comes to like chores and things around the house and kids and things like that, right? Like that's what I hear a lot of. It's like, you know,
And
those
Andy's
things.
married to a wife, so
And I am married to a
you
woman.
are. You
Yes.
are. And yeah.
Unless you changed, as far as I
That is
know.
probably one of our biggest disagreements in our marriage. Is like, can't you just look around instead of asking? And it's yeah.
Yes, okay, yes, exactly. So you're spitting facts, right?
I
You're
am.
assuming that I should know.
I am assuming
And
you should know. I'm like, you should learn how to know.
and sometimes I know and sometimes I don't know.
You need to learn how to know so you don't have to assume.
Okay, okay. There we go.
No, we have this talk a lot and we keep it very respectful. And sometimes I think and see the women will a lot of time will write me and be like, why does my husband just not get it after all these years? Like he still just doesn't get it. And I'm like, Nick's like, well, we're men. That's not really an excuse. But you have to have a conversation and be like, I
Okay.
need you to pay attention to this, this, and this is what this looks like, and this is why it makes me frustrated. When you can say things like that in a respectful way and be like, this is why it frustrates me that you don't do this, then you can have conversations. So let's just bring up the normal one that's like, the house is kind of messy, the kitchen is a mess, and a husband's sitting on the couch. Okay, I'm gonna start off because
Ooh, I just saw you get a boost of energy. She's gonna.
I saw the social media video that had gone viral. I don't remember whose account it was. And the lady said there's nothing more aggravating to a wife than looking across the room and their husband swiping their phone when the kitchen is a disaster. There's nothing more aggravating than that. And I was thinking about that. I'm like, that's actually, for me, that's true. That's absolutely true. If there's dishes in the sink, there's things on the counters, there's things that, like, it's full on obvious, and you can say
But
all
that
day long,
never happens to Amy, so
you
she's
can
doing pretty good.
you can say all day long, like, well, men just don't care about that stuff. Like, but if a wife, instead of getting like, and she was just staring at him and she was like boiling inside, right? She's getting all mad. If a wife, instead of assuming that he is paying attention to that and ignoring it just to frustrate her, instead being okay, maybe he's had a really long day, maybe he's doing something work related on his phone, maybe somebody needs help in the neighborhood and
Maybe,
like giving him the benefit of doubt, and instead of freaking out and getting all bitter about it, being like, hey, like, is there any way that maybe you could come help me out in the kitchen, instead of letting it boil inside and getting so aggravated about it. Like, I'm just saying there's
maybe.
ways to resolve these conflicts.
Yeah, and from a man's standpoint, maybe the husband's just waiting his wife to exit the kitchen so that he can go in and then start cleaning up what needs to be cleaned up.
Yeah, right.
If you're a family like ours, where 5 minutes has passed and you go back in the kitchen and it looks like a bomb went off, oftentimes I'm just like, I'm waiting for the kids and everyone to get out before I'm going to go in there and clean up the
The
mess.
mom cleans up after her kids, so that never happens.
That's not true.
Unless mom's not home, that doesn't happen.
I'm a rock star when it comes to cleaning the kitchen.
Hmm. Okay, you're fantastic. After a lot of years of having to have this conversation, he is fantastic.
Fantastic. I
Fantastic.
love it.
I'm just throwing out that example because we hear that one a lot. A lot.
And that's never happened in our marriage.
Never. But okay, let me go the other route. Just so you're picking on Nick, and I'm not. No, I'm not.
No, no, I wouldn't.
We have had this discussion a lot, and we have very respectful conversations about this. Another example, here's for the men. My wife assumes that I just want sex to have sex.
Oh, I love where you're going.
Why? Because I said the word sex?
No, I love where you're
Why?
going.
Where am I going?
I think it's going to be good. Anyways,
The guys are
carry
laughing.
on,
They're
carry
just
on,
like, oh my gosh, Nick.
carry on.
The women are like, no wonder men are so frustrating. He said the word sex, and I was like, keep going, I like it. we have to be careful not to assume that they're after just one thing and it's all physical, right? We've had to have this conversation a lot. Like, yes, be honest. Yes, some of it is very physical. Yes, it is. Just say it, right?
Yeah.
Just say it. But it's also how I feel loved and connected to you. And us women that have lower drives, not the high ones, I get you don't understand this because you have the higher drive, but the lower drive wives are like, huh? I don't get it, right?
Hmm.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
And this is where this whole, and this can go both ways. Maybe the husband's more about the dishes and the wife's more about the sex. I understand it can go both ways. This is why it's like, can you please help me understand why you feel this way or why this is bugging you or why, how can we do better in this situation to not assume?
Yeah.
When me and Nick have these conversations, instead of assuming that he's only touching me because he wants something or he's sitting on his phone, instead of assuming he's just being a punk and doesn't want to help out, I'm like, maybe he's dealing with something and I just need to chillax a little bit. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I think so. I think when men are afraid to initiate with their wife, a lot of the times they just assume it's because their wife's not in the mood. So, that's probably a time where the assumptions probably not an assumption, but
I don't know what you're saying.
no,
I'm trying to comprehend what you're trying
yeah,
to say.
I don't know where I'm going.
You know?
Yeah,
I
I
think
was
men
saying
I think men that are scared to initiate assume a lot of different things,
they're assuming
probably.
their wife's not in the mood, and they might be 100% correct.
They're assuming that they're going to get rejected. They might be assuming that, yeah, lots of things. Anyways,
Correct,
yeah.
correct.
Okay. So
I don't know where I was going.
the main problem is that assumptions quietly damage a marriage,
For sure.
right?
Absolutely
So if I
100%.
assume that he's thinking something or doing something or intentionally doing something,
You're gonna let it boil up. You're gonna get
I'm going to get
it's
frustrated.
gonna be like a crock pot that's building pressure and pressure to where eventually it's just gonna explode.
Right.
And then
I think women explode faster than
I'm like,
husbands
what
do.
just happened? Well, you didn't do this, and you didn't do this, and you didn't.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
I didn't even know it was an issue, right?
Yeah.
How
Why
often
didn't you
that?
just say something?
Yeah, why don't you just say something? And how often does that happen in
Right,
relationships? A lot,
right,
right?
right.
Whereas you're like, just say something to me. And I tell Amy this all the time. I'm like, look, just tell me, just be like, hey, can you do this? Yeah, absolutely. I'd be happy to do it. It'll take you 2 seconds. It'll make it so you're not boiling up inside or being frustrated and just assuming that I should know. Sometimes, okay, we as men are not mind readers, right? I like
Like where this is going.
we as men cannot look into the crystal ball and read minds. Like we just don't. So sometimes you just have to tell us and say, "Hey, Nick, I need you to do this." Sweet, babe, I'd be happy to do that. Right? That's usually the response she gets. It's like, what my baby want, my baby get.
And most women are like, just don't ask, just do it. Don't
Okay,
ask,
but again,
just
what's
do it.
okay? That sounds like just such
I
an
know. Okay,
obvious thing, but
okay.
let's talk about what happens because that's what
You do
happens.
it wrong.
You
And we,
start
yeah.
you start festering and letting it boil till you just blow up. And like I said, the husband or the wife is like, why didn't you just say something? I didn't know this. I didn't know this.
Okay, let me give you an example this weekend in our own house, okay?
Ooh, uh-oh, our own
Okay.
house.
Our very own house. This is the live example this weekend, okay? Nick, this was probably right after Christmas. Day, I don't remember. This weekend sometime maybe.
I don't know where you're going, so I can't help you. I'm listening.
I'm trying to remember the exact words so I don't get it wrong. Anyways, he looks over at me. It's probably like Saturday or something. And he's like, I'm gonna stop at the store on the way home from whatever he was doing. And he's like, what do we need for dinner? Can you make me a list? Or what are we running out of? What do we need? And that's frustrating for a lot of women because now we have to go through the fridge. Now we have to plan the meals. At our house, we both do it because we're both working full time. So we've had to do this more of a shared responsibility at our house. And I looked at him and I didn't get upset. I didn't say, oh my gosh, what is wrong with you? I was very respectful and I said, I don't know what we need. You might need to look in the fridge. And then I went back to what I was doing. And what did you do?
I
What did
said,
you do?
I said, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And so I looked in the fridge and I said, all right,
Oh, we don't need anything.
yeah, we don't need anything. And so I got a couple things and I'm like, all right, if she's putting all that on me, then she can't get upset if I don't get something because she said, you go look in the fridge, right?
And we didn't have any eggs, and we didn't have a couple things, and I wasn't gonna get upset, but I'm like, well, I guess we're just not gonna have that tomorrow. And when people start asking for it, I can say you can ask your dad.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
we just have to be more. I think that married couples can be more open, more respectful, and more like, okay, let's have a discussion about why this thing is bugging me and why this is bugging you, vice versa, and just talk about it because we've had this conversation. Like like the whole sexual thing, like the physical touch on like day 3 or 4, whatever one he needs it. Like a lot of men will be all physically touchy. I want it. I'm all romantic. I'm more romantic today and touchy touchy. Let's be intimate later. And a lot of women get really bugged and be like, I really would like you to be more like that on day 1, 2, and 3. So instead of assuming and getting frustrated, just have this conversation. Hey, how do you think we could do better? And like making sure the physical touch is stronger on the other days too. So I don't feel like it's only when you want something. Like that is an easy conversation to have with each other.
It is, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
It should be.
Yeah.
It might not be easy, but it once you start having conversations like that and just being more open, I think it gets easier. Like we're pretty like just speak our feelings now, say it nicely, have a
Yeah.
nice conversation, right?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Okay, why assumptions are harmful. You ready for the list? Number 1, replaces communication with unmet expectations. Number 2, leads to disappointment, resentment, and emotional distance. And 3, stops curiosity and learning about your spouse.
And all three of those are so true. If I'm assuming something, I don't need to talk to you about it. So
Right.
anytime in marriage, when you assume something, it's like, oh, this is the way it is. I don't even need to have the conversation.
Right.
So it just puts up a wall so your conversation starts sucking.
Mm-hmm.
And then one spouse is like boiling up and, like I said, like a time bomb ready to go.
Right.
And it's just going to create more conflict. So
Right. Right.
100%.
You know the quote that says oxygen, communication to marriage is like oxygen to the body, right? It's crucial. When you assume, I feel like you're cutting off that lifeline.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like communication is a lifeline to marriage. So when you assume, you are cutting that off. It's like the opposite of helping your relationship. It's like full on damaging it, right?
Agreed.
So a dangerous mindset would be, I thought you knew.
I've heard that. We've heard
I
that.
thought you knew. I thought
You should know.
You should know.
And again, Amy and I are fully saying like we've had a time in our marriage where we totally did this. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying we're
not
totally
perfect
healed from it either. Like we still battle the I guess normal tendencies that most couples have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some couples are
Absolutely.
extremely good at this. We're trying to be good at this.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to be like, all right, we got to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, can't just assume.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Many conflicts start with silence, not major events, and successful couples turn toward each other's bids for a connection. That one's Gottman researched.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, when you're just assuming you're, again, not having communication, you're turning against each other or away from each other.
Okay, here's some stats. Emotional disconnect. Lack of emotional connection cited in less than 60% of all divorces.
In at least 60%.
And at least, yeah.
Yep.
Emotional gaps are created by unspoken needs and assumptions. What I think I want to talk about next is that sexual intimacy suffers from assumptions. We kind of already talked about that, but like emotionally, when you're disconnected and you're assuming things emotionally, it's absolutely going to affect your sexual intimacy in your marriage. Like, I feel like assuming is just building a wall.
Well, yeah. I mean, and again, like we've talked about, like if something's building up on either side, the last thing you're going to want to do is connect emotionally or physically, right? And so some marriages, it's just like there's always that constant build up and that tension because of the constant assumptions, and that's probably why they're never in the mood to connect intimately, right?
Right.
Like just let it out. Just let it out. It'll make you feel so much better.
Okay. Another stat, 69% of marital conflict is perpetual. Conflict is normal. Success depends on how couples talk, not avoiding issues.
Okay, I love that. So almost 70% of conflict is just always happening, but the way it gets resolved is communication.
Right,
It's as simple as
right,
that. So you're totally normal if you're having, conflict or arguments or things in your marriage. Like that is totally
right.
normal to
Mm-hmm.
have those. But it's the couples, the successful couples that are happy are able to say, hey,
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling this way. I didn't appreciate this, or here's what I'm thinking. Am I understanding this correctly? They have those conversations and things get resolved extremely quickly, and then they're able to move on
Mm-hmm.
without harboring any bad feelings.
Absolutely. Yeah. Communication is a learned skill.
It is,
It's
yeah.
a learned skill. It took us many years to learn how to
And it's
communicate.
still something we constantly have to work on. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I think the natural tendency is was when you're mad at your spouse, you're like, I don't want to talk to him right now.
Right. Right.
And a day or two goes by and you're like, no, they
Mm-hmm.
should come talk to me. It's their fault. I mean, this is normal behavior, I think, for most couples, right? It's just a natural
It's not
thing.
healthy though.
No.
No. How to stop assuming? It's just simply ask instead of guessing. It's just that easy. It's just that easy. Express feelings, check in regularly, address hard topics, and create emotional safety. I love that you put love asks, love listens, love responds.
I
And
think it's just that simple.
it's just that
And
simple.
what does it start out with, right? Love asks. Like in a loving marriage, you're going to ask, you're going to be like, hey, you
Hmm.
know, I'm thinking this. Is this
Right,
correct? Or you're just going to talk and communicate and
right,
ask questions.
right.
So I think it's really simple. Love asks,
Hmm.
love, um,
You want me to repeat it?
yeah,
Love listens, love responds.
love listens, love responds. Yeah, I think
Love,
that's,
listen, true love, like you're listening to your spouse. You're caring about their feelings. You want to ask them because you don't want to assume. You want to think the best of them. You want to know how they're feeling. Like you care. Like I think it really comes down to love cares. And when you care, you're not assuming. You really are like, I want to understand why you feel this way because I love you. Like love is an action word. Love caring is an action word. Love is an action word. Like I don't know. I think that I know we just did an episode before this one on setting goals, but if you didn't listen to that one, like a really great goal for 2026 is just not assume in your marriage. If you're like, I don't know what to fix in my marriage this year, marriage is okay or it's not so great or wherever you're at, if you stop assuming, I feel like your marriage will turn around because the
I
minute
do.
that we started
Yeah.
stopped assuming what each other was thinking, assuming that our spouse felt a certain way or needed something, and we just started asking and listening and caring, I really feel like everything kind of like turned around for us.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I
It's it,
agree.
it
Because we
is it's
were,
not hard. It's not hard. Just
we
stop
were,
assuming.
the first few years in our marriage, we were awful. I mean,
Well, it was more like year 10, but yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
The first few years. A
First year
year,
was
first
great.
few years could mean anywhere from 2 to 12. So yeah, year 10, first few years. That's right.
But that's communication is a skill, and it definitely had to be learned.
Oh, that's why
It's
Amy and
never too
I,
late.
that's why Amy built and I built the app. That's why
Mhm.
we do what we do is to share the things that we've learned and that we still
Right.
are working on. But obviously they've made big improvements and things in our marriage, and we want to share those
Mhm.
with others. So
Mhm.
that's what we're doing. That's why we do what we do. So
Yep.
we hope it can be beneficial to you. And I guess, yeah, just as simple as that.
Simple as that. Stop
So.
assuming.
So happy New Year. Hope all of you had a great New Year's Eve and look forward to a great 2026 with all of you. And until next time, we hope all of you find ultimate intimacy in your relationship.